Hi everybody, Rad Mom here. Welcome to the laundry room because we have a bit of an impromptu thing for you today. Because sometimes I'll see something and I have to comment. This is one of those. Real quick though, like the video if you enjoy my content and subscribe to the channel for more of it, where we do feminism from a materialist perspective. And we're gonna jump right in because we have a lot of ground to cover.
You know that meme, the worst person you know just made a great point? Well, yesterday, Republican Iraq war hawk Bill Kristol made an observation that was so not terrible that it actually got co signed by New York Congresswoman AOC. Not to sound like AOC or something, he tweeted, tagging AOC somewhat thirstily in the tweet. But the degree to which the Republican Party has become a party of performative populism layered over unabashed oligarchy is pretty striking.
And she is about to go kind of a long way around to make the point that so are the Democrats. It's a point that has been made before. And really, this is going to be kind of her dealing with, in her own way, the fact that there's really nothing politically to do. You're sort of we as feminists for a while now have been kind of politically homeless, and Briahna's going to tell us about how that's kind of becoming true of a lot of people.
Now, he was specifically referring to the fact that the Republican governor of Montana, Greg Gianforte, has been out of the country while the state endures flooding so extensive that the acting governor signed an executive order declaring a statewide disaster. But Kristol could have been referring to any number of things. Billionaires like Rick Caruso and Michael Bloomberg buying elections, the influence of big moneyed interests on elections post Citizens United, billionaires like Elon Musk, Mark Zuckerberg, and Jeffrey Bezos controlling the media, for instance. After all, since the corporate bailouts of the 2008 recession and the Occupy movement that sprung from it, American left populists have been ringing the alarm bell on the fact that democracy is dead. The thing is, though, it's not just the Republican Party that's overtaken by oligarchs. It's our entire two-party system. Now, it doesn't always feel like both parties are equally corrupted. Democrats, on the whole, are more subtle.
And this is going to be a really good description of some of the optics that they use to get away with some of the shit that they do. I promise I'm going somewhere with this.
About their attacks on the social safety net, and they tend to use their superficial support for historically marginalized groups as a shield against critique.
Or in some cases, real material support, right?
Hey, they say, at least we're nicer to gays and black folks than the Republicans are. On the other hand, some Republican electeds have been smart enough to pick up on growing frustration among the American public for establishment politics, and they've been making gestures toward embracing a sort of working class politics, even if it's mostly rhetoric with very little follow through.
Yeah, which is really ironic because, I don't know if all of you will remember this, but they were definitely worse before they were better, right? And they have not fixed their problems on the social issues. That's why I think a lot of us are still lingering on the side of the Democrats, is because we really do care about a lot of those social issues.
We love working people, they say, as they come up with excuse after excuse not to raise the minimum wage while rejecting a windfall profit tax on corporations exploiting the oil crisis to make profit. Now, with Democrats doubling down on their courtship of suburban educated elites and relying on a plan to scare minorities into voting blue no matter who.
I feel like that's what they did in 2020 as well. What was the other thing?
Profit. Now,
right, yeah. So that they don't want to put the tax on the corporations. That just really demonstrates it's not all about the bottom line, even, is it? No.
Democrats doubling down on their courtship of suburban educated elites and relying on a plan to scare minorities into voting blue no matter who.
Again.
Republicans don't need to do that much to seem like the better alternative to millions of voters who previously identified as Democrats or independents.
Which is exactly what I've been seeing in our kind of feminist community, right here and in the UK. Which again, I'm going to say this again, the conservatives are not our friends just because they acknowledge that we exist.
After all, it seems obvious to most folks not named Joe Biden that the system is broken.
Yeah. And she's going to just rattle off some statistics here, and I'm going to go ahead and let her because I'm not sure how many people have heard these kind of things, and this is not meant to plagiarize you, Briahna, promise. I'm just trying to do what little I can to amplify your message here, honey. Here we go.
And no one likes to be gaslit. We know the system is broken because a full-time minimum wage salary can't get a worker a one-bedroom rental in 93% of counties nationwide. And 2 bedrooms are completely off the table. And since the average minimum wage worker is a 35-year-old white woman and 28% of minimum wage workers have children, low wages represent a real threat to the American family. We know the system is broken because in 2020, the CEO earned 351 times more than the typical worker. In 1965, it was just 15 to 1. CEO pay has grown at 940%, while worker pay has only risen 12% during that time. We know the system is broken because in 1980, the average cost of a 4-year college degree was a little over $10,000. It's 3 times that now.
At least.
And adjusting for inflation doesn't solve the problem. Average college tuition and fees have increased by 1,200% since 1980. Inflation's just up 236%. We know the system is broken because a Princeton study proved way back in 2014 that America is not a democracy at all. It's an oligarchy. And why do I say that? What does that mean? Well, what the people want has an almost zero effect on what our democratically elected officials actually do.
True. She's going to have her demonstration of that here in a minute. And as far as what oligarchy means, I actually looked that up because I'm a nerd. Monarchy, one, is the rule of one powerful person. And oligarchy was the rule of several powerful people. We kind of already knew that, but now it's official.
Per the study, a proposed policy change with low support among economically elite Americans is adopted only about 18% of the time, while a proposed change with high support among elite Americans is adopted about 45% of the time. And
that's like almost 50-50. That almost feels fair.
In other words, when rich people want something, they get it. When poor or working class people want something, they're SOL. But enough with the doom and gloom. I don't have to belabor the bleak statistics. You're living them. Maybe you're a 40-year-old millennial who's never owned a home. Only 43% of us are homeowners after all.
Ooh, I feel called out. I mean, I'll only be 39 this fall, but dang. Ouch.
Compared to nearly 80% of baby boomers. Or maybe you're a senior on a fixed income concerned about Biden's plan to hike Medicare premiums right before midterms. The point is that Crystal is onto something. The Republican Party is performative populism covering for unabashed oligarchy. What both he and AOC fail to say, though, is that it's not just Republicans.
Yeah, and that would be why I'm not like an AOC stan and whatever, because she misses opportunities like that consistently.
It is crucial that people who understand that establishment politics are broken not pull punches when it comes to holding one side or the other accountable.
Yeah, because it just makes you look like a freaking hypocrite.
It might be Lindsey Graham trying to cut Social Security and Medicare this week, but as David Sirota pointed out in The Lever, a dozen years ago, Barack Obama and Vice President Biden held a ceremony at the White House to announce a commission to try to slash Social Security and Medicare. but for a sustained campaign led by Bernie Sanders, which included a threat to primary Barack Obama, Democrats might have succeeded.
Oh my God, Bernie totally should have done that. That would have been so cool.
Too often, efforts to make life harder for working people are bipartisan efforts, and partisan sniping allows establishment politicians to pass off blame like a hot potato.
That's right. They fuck us, and then they blame each other, and while we're busy trying to figure out what happened, they just keep on, fleecing us. It's really just so cute, isn't it?
Well, no one is ever held accountable. Is Biden doing enough to address inflation? No. But are Republicans offering a viable solution? Also no. Moreover, those of us in the media who are willing to point this out are often attacked by establishment punditry.
Yeah, and those of us in the general populace who are willing to say, criticize our own side are mercilessly, we're all, right wing. I don't even want to say it. God forbid someone take that clip out of context. She admitted it. No. But anyways, TERFs, right? Like, okay, because we can't possibly be liberals. Because we insist on continuing to live in the real world where sexual reproduction is a fact of life. Okay, so this is just her version of exactly the same thing that we've been going through for years.
Accused of being in the tank for the other side, even as our criticisms are bipartisan. Wanting to hold Biden accountable to his campaign promises might get you called the Candace Owens of the left, at least if you're black.
Oh, don't worry, honey. You don't really look anything like her.
Explaining why Tucker Carlson is appealing to so many viewers recently caused the co-founder of a popular left media site to accuse me of not being a leftist at all yesterday.
Wait, what was it, Tucker Carlson? I always say, like, what?
Why Tucker Carlson is appealing to so many viewers recently caught black. Explaining why Tucker Carlson is appealing to so many viewers recently caused the co-founder of a popular left media site to accuse me of not being a leftist at all yesterday.
Exploiting why Tucker Carlson is so popular. I have to admit that suddenly I realized I'm not sure what she means by that. But I'm assuming it's not wearing a bow tie and sending white supremacist dog whistles. Which is the two things about him that I really have a problem with. I don't know about y'all.
Yesterday.
Mainstream media is disgusting.
Okay, you know what's disgusting? Oh my God. Okay, Cenk is disgusting. And we're going to go ahead and put him in the corner today. Okay, because she's right. He is acting out exactly the same thing that happens to us all the time. And he is not the kind of person who is A, liberal or progressive, or B, credible enough to be not only delivering his own opinions to the public, but critiquing the opinions of others. But we'll see that in just a minute. Let's go ahead and hear what he has to say first. Come on.
How they shut out progressives. In terms of the right wing, no. Briahna Joy Gray, unfortunately, is one of the people that are in the fake left. And so this has become a whole niche part of the industries.
He doesn't say what that means. The fake left. And, I really feel like this is some projection here, considering how hard y'all have worked, Cenk, to toe the, freaking authoritarian party line on the bullshit that's trying to erase me. So kiss my ass.
So Jimmy Dore, Glenn Greenwald, Briahna Joy Gray, and a couple of others in there.
A couple of others. So that's 5 people. It's hardly a movement, first of all. Secondly, I feel like that was, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, a random association, a random group of people. 3 random names.
Oh, well. Here's the thing. I don't care what you call me.
Okay. Like, that's your prerogative, but I strongly disagree. Because words mean things, and not insisting upon being specific and precise in our wording and our verbiage has cost us a lot, right? I disagree there. I think that it's important to know what the fuck leftism is, which is, generally speaking, collectivist. Generally speaking, sort of work from the top down. And I said this in a video last week, something about the superstructure that ensures, the citizenry is provided with the basics of life so that we can get on with living. Okay, it's not authoritarian unless you want it to be, unless somebody decides that they know what's better for everyone and know how to use the resources. Okay, you don't have that authority just because you provide something, just because you give somebody something doesn't mean you get to tell them how to use it. That's just not how that works. And anyone who claims that it is an authoritarian asshole. Okay, but anyway, so we're gonna go and take a little ride in the Wayback Machine. This here clip coming up is 9 years old, which, to some of you might seem like a cheap shot, but when you see it, you will understand why it is evergreen. It's sort of interesting because you can tell this is an old clip by the way Anna looks and her kind of heavy makeup, right? I was very in. She was very 2013. Very of the moment.
Back in 2002, Germany legalized prostitution, and that actually led to an oversaturated market. There were many brothels. In fact, let me give you some exact numbers.
It would literally be oversaturated.
Are you seeing where this is going yet? Now, from the crew, you're about to hear both a groan and a chuckle. I went back and I listened to it several times, and I'm pretty sure it's 2 different people embodying the 2 possible reactions to Cenk's little joke there.
Did I suppose? I hadn't thought of that before. But if any market is going to be oversaturated, that's not such a bad one. But anyway, yes, tell me more.
So there are reportedly 3,000 red light districts or red light establishments in the country.
And you know what? I'm going to give credit right now before I go any further to Ellie Arrow for bringing this clip out of the ether in a video of hers, which I will link below. It's heavy stuff, and I don't usually comment on so much the prostitution because I personally have 0 experience with it. There are many women who have important things to say, and I have tried to educate myself, but I don't usually speak on this topic because I don't, it's not my area of expertise. It's not my area of experience, so I try to stick with my own experience. But that's not why we're here. Prostitution bad, right? And Cenk is not taking this shit seriously at all. And I'm going to reiterate the point that Ellie made in her video, which is that they could have put up the front of a fucking brothel here. They could have put up some women just, standing there or something, but no, we have tits. Yeah. Because this is journalism.
And 500 brothels in Berlin alone. It's been estimated that more than 1 million men pay for sex in Germany every day.
Mach schnell.
Do you even know what that means? It means do it quicker. What? I think his brain is short-circuiting. It's really kind of sad.
That's a lot of brothels, man. They're not playing in Berlin, or apparently they are.
So the reason why I'm bringing this story up is because oftentimes when we talk about prostitution in the United States, we say it's best to legalize it, because if you legalize it, you can regulate it. If you regulate it, the prostitutes will remain safe. It'll get rid of Johns or pimps or anyone who can possibly abuse these women.
So how did it work out?
Okay, the Johns are the buyers. You can't get rid of them, or you don't have an industry. Just saying.
Here.
It's not working out in Germany, which
Really?
is interesting. Yes.
I mean, look, it seems like it's legal, it's relatively safe, and it's even cheaper. Where's the downside?
So here's the...
Where's the downside, motherfucker? For whom?
Problem. It's become incredibly cheap. So sex is cheaper than anywhere else.
Where's the downside again?
This is so disgusting. Yeah. So, far be it for me to judge, Cenk, I guess. But, you're not really in much of a position to call anyone disgusting. And how in the fuck you get to speak about what the fuck feminism is ever? Or anything relating to women's rights ever? Because, not only did you say these things, but you said them on camera. Have you no shame? I think a lot of people might harbor some, probably most people harbor some, personal opinions that they know might not be the most palatable to the general public. That's your prerogative. You're allowed to hold whatever opinion you fucking want. But, no self-awareness. He thinks this is perfectly fine.
Okay, come again?
Okay.
All right.
It's gotten so cheap that people will pay a flat rate, right?
And men will pay a flat rate.
And in a lot of cases, women will perform acts for as little as $13. So okay.
That's the fucking downside, you dumbass. That's her body. Those are her fucking boundaries. And look what Ellie said in her video is she doesn't understand why anyone tolerates a market where the bodily autonomy of women is tied to the fluctuations of that market. The better things are going, the more autonomy they have. And then when things go down the tubes, so does their personal autonomy. Which is one of the most unethical things I maybe have ever heard, and considering the waters we've been swimming in lately, that's saying something.
I know. So the downside is they haven't properly regulated it. So there are still prostitutes that are working in terrible conditions. They're being abused.
I don't know. Is there really anyone that would choose this? Is there really any woman out there, a healthy, mentally lady who's really got all her marbles and all her pistons firing there, who would voluntarily be like, yeah, I'm just gonna, if it wasn't for the fact that maybe they just need the money that much? I feel like it's an economically, they're under economic duress. And then once they get into this here that she's describing, I don't know how you would even get out of this. What are you gonna do? Save up to move out?
And so,
I know. Look, they got to clean that up, of course. Kidding aside, but it almost happens no matter what you do with prostitution. It's the kind of industry that unfortunately brings in really bad guys. And
yeah, it's almost like giving men license over women's bodies to do whatever the fuck they want is a really bad idea.
They start to do unscrupulous things, and I get it that too many people are coming in because it's legal there. But if it was legal everywhere, then we wouldn't have this problem.
No, yeah, we would. And Cenk here is demonstrating for us exactly why that is. Because men like that are everywhere. They can't all afford to fly to Germany. Maybe they don't all want to fly to Germany. Maybe for whatever reason they're not interested in German women. I don't know. But, thanks for showing us, Cenk, that guys like that are fucking everywhere.
You wouldn't have to flood into Germany. You could just chill out and stay in.
Flood in? Is that another pun? Ugh.
Denmark or Belfast or Romania, wherever you are, and everybody could be fine and calm. The problem is it's illegal everywhere else, so you create this one place where everybody rushes in.
Yeah.
No, the problem is that why the fuck are we even having this conversation that whether or not it should be legal for men to have paid unlimited access to women's bodies? Why the fuck is that even a conversation? Again, I don't have any real personal experience in this area, but just theoretically, philosophically, it's completely unethical assuming that women are equal human beings to men. Okay? And they consent to it, so I guess assuming their equality is the reason that it's okay, because you couldn't buy a sheep for this purpose, right? That's illegal, I'm pretty sure. I hope. But abusing animals is illegal, right? But abusing women, we're having a conversation about whether or not that should be okay. And they invoke like our agency for that, like, oh well, you can consent to that, so that's all right? Oh, okay, right. Then that's what I'm saying, though. I don't believe that any woman would agree to that without being under some kind of duress. I don't.
Yes. So there was this one man from Florida that the Time magazine interviewed, and he said that he traveled to Germany 3 times a year because the sex is so cheap there.
Can you imagine if that man had taken the money that he spent on plane tickets and hotel rooms and brothels and shit and spent it on therapy? He could be married and getting paid at home.
And it's also legal in the United States.
Think about that, man. You're willing to travel and pay the expense of going all that travel just because you're getting some cheap ass. So
cheap ass. Those are people. And you're demonstrating your disrespect for people of, the female persuasion right fucking now. I just can't believe that you're laughing in her fucking face like this.
So, like, the amount of difference between how much you would pay in your home country and Germany has...
see, look at me smirking again.
...be significant for that to be worthwhile, and apparently it is. But I also got news for you. Like, all kidding aside, what do I care, right? But I
don't know. That's a really good question, because you seem to have some pretty strong opinions on this topic. Yeah, and you've already said all kidding aside. You already tried to do that once. Did we not succeed in that?
I'll tell you this as a friendly warning. Let me put it that way. Don't ever pay $13 for a hooker. Okay. Bad idea, Jeans. Okay. There's no way you're going to get something good for $13.
Okay, I don't know what that is. That's fun. That's a meme from 2013. He's got his hair shaped into a heart. How cute. Anyways, haha, right, yeah, because the quality of the product is the issue here, right? Oh my God. No one should ever listen to this man about anything, ever.
That's what I don't know. Maybe the market's so saturated in Germany, it's awesome. But I would say be careful on Schlupen dust. That might not be vitamin.
So
that's not a word.
One guy in Germany was interviewed. He said the following: the going rate for oral sex and intercourse used to be $54,
which is still fucking sad. That's less than a pair of expensive sneakers.
In this particular area that I don't know how to pronounce.
Geestemunde. Thank you very much.
Yes. Some women charge less than $13. And then he also says that one woman here will even do it for a Big Mac.
You don't want that, dude. You don't want the girl who's going to do it for a Big
Mac. Why? Maybe if she's hungry, that means she's desperate. She'll do whatever the fuck you want, right?
Don't do it, dude. Don't do it.
I love how you're worried about the guy who's
Thank
looking
you.
for sex. What about the woman who's in the type of financial situation
totally
that
right.
she would do
a
sex act for a Big Mac? You're worried about the guy.
Totally right.
Yeah, she's totally right. He's the worst. Yeah. How in the fuck has this man not been, raked across the coals for this? I could say canceled, but like, yeah, I could give a shit. But he definitely should be maybe taken to task for this by somebody that matters, right?
Right. You're totally right. I'm guilty. I'm guilty.
Yeah, probably of other stuff. If, the behavior of other fellows is any indication, this is probably just the tip of the iceberg, right?
I don't know what I was thinking, but yes, we should consider the prostitutes' well-being as well.
No shit, Sherlock. Brain short circuit. Boobies. Oh my god. Like, again, I know that this was 9 years ago. I'm tempted to tell him to grow the fuck up. Maybe he has. But, that's the kind of thing that, like I said something about Richard Spencer, the white supremacist guy, now is claiming to be a moderate. And it's like, I just don't know if that's the kind of thing that you could just get over. It's a sort of fundamental bit of the level of your worldview, the foundational kind of stuff that is not so easy to just move on from. Cenk not viewing women as whole people is yeah, probably something that stems all the way back to before he can remember. So I just don't. And anyway, I haven't seen any evidence of it because he's still a sexist prick, right? Shilling for the trans women now. Bros before hoes. Unless the hoes are $13, in which case, bro, better get the fuck out of your way, right, Cenk? So, yeah. A lot of other people out there are starting to feel the same kind of junk that we've been dealing with for years now. And the people who are coming after them for it are hypocrites and perverts. Just like you'd expect. It's kind of amazing, in a way. And I guess we're running up over half an hour, so thank you so much for sticking with me, and I will cut it here. I'm going to have another one up in the morning, which is going to be another blog reading about the trad wives and how they just love ignoring feminism's big questions. So for right now, we're going to say goodbye to Cenk and Anna and Briahna. And I will see y'all next time. Thanks so much. Like and subscribe. Bye.